All right, peace, peace, peace. Well, first and foremost, man, hopefully the Most High in your house shall blessing your day. By His mercies you aren't consumed. We're alive in the Most High in your house shall body into a naturally alive, man. And I want to get into this, man, because last night I saw the new Predator movie, Badlands, man. It was kind of like, it was crazy. I was having a conversation with my mother, honestly, and how, honestly, this is kind of the point of the movie, man, because, if you ever watched honestly too, let me say this too, as far as the whole Predator series, all that stuff is really, we actually talked about this before some years ago, honestly, on here, man. All that is especially Predator 2, we talked about that and how, well, at the end of Predator 2 was pretty much parabolic to how Jacob became Israel, honestly. That's what kind of was the point. Even in Predator 2, he says, who was it? Oh, man, my gosh, how am I forgetting his name, man? Oh, my gosh, man. They call Danny Glover's character the Lion. Honestly, he says you're the Lion, but I'm forgetting his. How am I forgetting his name, man? He's been in Aliens. There's so many. Is Bill Paxton? Oh my gosh, I forget his movie again. His name. He passed away years ago, but legendary. But anyway, yeah, but that's just is what it is. But all the predators really represents really the angels of the Most High Yahusha, honestly, with Christ's second coming. That's really what it is. That's why they kind of got the chariots and the ship, but that's another story for another day. We kind of talked about that in the past, but honestly, too, we used to talk about this a lot. Me and my mother. My mother and I should say, and we were just going into sometimes how the Most High, I just noticed this throughout life. I'm pretty sure one of y'all brothers and sisters knows this as well. How the Most High in your house shall, most of the time will send a stranger, to be there for you rather than the people that we expect, our loved ones that we expect, honestly. And that a lot of times happen. Now, is that always the case? No, but, and that's really was kind of the theme of this movie, honestly, man, because, I forgot Dex, the Predator's name in this movie, but, he's wants the love and, the one really the respect of his father and his brother, but, this is a spoiler, by the way, but, but he ends up not getting that. Then because his father views him as the weakest one out of the family, so pretty much his father tells his brother to kill him, and his brother doesn't kill him because of the love he has for his brother. So then his father kills his brother right in front of him. Then he sends him on the ship, to away, and pretty much he goes on another planet with a bunch of predators. Now he's the kind of the prey. He's kind of has to prove himself. It's kind of elements of what your house I said. It's expedient that I go away for you, that so he could become the greatest, highest level version of himself, man. But along the way, man, he meets another creature. Then another woman, honestly, she was a human, but that's another story. I don't want to get too deep in the movie, but pretty much, man. But at the end of the movie, he says, "You were never my father, man." But what's crazy about that is that I was just talking about that, with my with my mother, man, and how honestly, we mentioned with the account of David and Saul and Jonathan, man, how even though Saul was Johnson's father, but he started with David, man. He started with righteousness because that's where the Most High Yahushua was, man. He decided what the real was, man. Honestly, what the righteous was that, man. Honestly, he says, "Father, I love you, but I'm loyal and love David as well. So whatever you do, that's just is what it is." Then, after Jonathan died, 2 Samuel 1:26, man. David said, man, they had love for each other that passed the love of a woman, man. But that's just something else, man, too, man. So that's what it is, man. Because not all, like Pac said, when he said above the rim, man, when he played Birdie, he said, man, just because you blood doesn't mean y'all family, man. Because honestly, too, man, that's why it's elements of what Yahusha said, that he that does the will of my Father is my family. At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong, of course. I love my peoples, our brothers and sisters, we love our families, but that's the end of it. That's the end of the day. That is what it is, honestly. And actually, that could be pointed with David. Jonathan and Saul, honestly, those that do the will of my Father is my family. So, yeah, so let's get to Proverbs chapter 18 verse, and also too, man. But and also too, the predators, honestly, they look kind of like the same. They're a warrior race, honestly, so they just kind of view things differently, man. But that's what. But later on, the predator realizes that no, it's more like to it. Being a warrior is more to it than just like being a predator or being like a warrior or killing and destroying, man. It's about being honorable, being integral, man. Honestly, and that's what he kind of learns throughout the end of the thing, because that's what really how David was the greatest warrior. Honestly, like one of the greatest warriors that ever walked earth, man. Because even the son of David, Yahushua, man, because who they were, honestly, because Yahushua warred against sin and death. Even David and Joshua and Moses, Moses too, but the Maccabees, Samson, Joab, all these men were great warriors, but they were great also because they're faithful in the Most High Yahushua, man. But also too, if you just go in history, they are one of the greatest warriors to ever walk the planet as well. But but it's more to it. That's why we're gonna go Proverbs, then we're gonna go to Genesis real quick. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 24. It says, a man who has friends must show himself friendly, but there's a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Yeah, and that's honestly the aspect of that in this movie, man. Because that's why even it's aspects of all Israel is in Israel, man. Because you could be born of a certain line, but not spiritually, not be like a son at all, honestly. So that's is what it is. Same thing, even naturally, even in this instance, man. Yeah, man. You could be born, you could be related to somebody by blood, but spiritually, it's just what it is. Not that you don't have love for them, but it's like, yeah. So, that's just is what it is, man. That's why we got trying to be in the heavenly family, man. Honestly, like Ephesians says, but that's just is what it is too. I was gonna say something as well, but I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I hate when that happens. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 24. It says, a man who shows himself must be friendly, but there's a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Exactly, man. So that's just is what it is right there, man. Because, yeah, man. Oh, yeah, and that's what Jeremiah 9:4 it says, man. Yeah, man. That's because they are the nation, man. Of your, not even just of the nation, of your people, man, of your kin. Yeah, man. Shoot. I don't mean nothing, man. It says, verse Jeremiah 9:4. Everyone says, take heed of his brother, and do not trust any brother, for every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk in slanderness. Yeah, man. And that's what happened to Yahushua, man. So, because our people did that to Yahushua, man. We did that, honestly. So. That's what it is now. Of course, the Romans stuff like Esau played a role in that. Romans, yeah, of course, but we ultimately did that as well. Honestly, not everyone, because there was some that believe it. For the majority of us, did that. But that's another story for another day, though, man. But yeah, man, let's get this Genesis 27, man, because this is what the predator in the movie, he kind of realizes this is how he was, but he realized that, and this is what the beast in Edom is going to do. This is why Christ said that to Peter, man, you live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword. That's why the beast, son of perdition, will come out of the line of Edom, because then even Esau now, man, like you see all the military artillery all throughout this, especially for since even the Romans, the Greeks, even to the start, man. That's what he said. They'll live by the sword, man. But what the house I say, live by the sword, you'll perish by the sword. Like it says, I remember seeing this mural. This mural was probably still up there. It was somewhere. It was a Tupac mural. It says, live by the gun, die by the gun. That's is what it is. He actually says that. Snoop says that on America's Most Wanted with Tupac on the song on All Eyes on Me. But that's neither here nor there. But it says, Genesis 27, verse 40, it says, by your sword you shall live, and your sword, you shall serve your brother, and it shall come to pass when you become restless, then you shall break the yoke from your neck. Yeah, man. But what did Yahushua say, man? You live by a sword, you die by a sword, man. It's not the sword of the word, but well, in Yahushua's instance, yes, because he lived by the word and he died by the word. Word, but this is talking about like the natural sword. Like that's why David says, my weapons, my bow does not save me. That's why Paul says our weapons of warfare are not carnal. And he's talking about the carnal weapons, man. So in this aspect, now was Peter wrong in this aspect? No, but but it's just like Yahushua says, listen, I had to fulfill the book, but it's kind of. This is kind of going to something else. We'll get this. We'll still read it though. Those that seen the movie should understand. Yeah, Matthew chapter 26 and verse 52. It says, "But Yahweh said unto him, Put your sword in its place, for all who to take the sword will perish by the sword." Pretty much, man, it's like pretty much what Yahushua is saying here, man. It's like it's nothing because then Yahushua said during the time of persecution, he told his disciples, he told his 12, listen, take sell your cloak or sell your garment and get a sword. There's nothing wrong with that, but pretty much what he's saying here is putting your faith in it. Honestly, that's why David says Psalm 44, "I'll need to trust my bow. None that will not save me." Let's look at that real quick. In the weapons of warfare not carnal. In Ephesians, in Wisdom of Solomon, says put on the spiritual armor, honestly. So Psalms 44 and verse 6, "For I will not trust my bow, nor shall my sword save me." Exactly. And that's what he means, man. So hopefully this is edifying, man. So yeah, man. So peace. And yeah, man, too, man. Hopefully the Most High Yahushua have y'all day, man. Make sure y'all tell your loved ones y'all love them, man. Inside the word, outside the word, man. So yeah, man. So just want to say that too, man. So much love, man.